starting to the top left. The Zerg player. 2-1 already. He's ahead in the best of 5. Can he edge out another win on Whirlwind?
삼성칸, RorO.
Played really well with those Fungals and the Corruptors against the Void Ray composition of Parting. Strong unit composition that we had for the Protoss player in game number 3. In the end, he lost the match. Starting to the top right of Whirlwind.
SK텔레콤 T1, Parting.
So, different colors this time, blue and purple. Not sure why that happened, but it did. And this is going to be a fast scout for Parting. He's going to be able to force the pool first, most likely.
And guys, apparently there was a bit of a problem earlier on Twitch in the last game. So if you're experiencing problems watching the matches on Twitch, there's always the options to go to GOMTV.net and watch the games there. It's definitely, I can recommend it. I personally sometimes have problems with the other stream, but usually the stream on GOMTV.net works flawlessly for me, so check that out.
Yeah, there's a free stream there, and you know, if you get a ticket, you can actually get the high quality as well.
And also, while you're at it, make sure that you jump on IRC. If you don't have the client on your computer, you can always Google for web IRC, then join QuakeNet, and the channel is #GSL to talk with fellow Starcraft fans.
Protoss kick ass.
Well, he's certainly trying.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a reversal there in the last game, but we'll see. So far, you know, 1 win left for RorO to advance here, take that spot.
I feel we have to talk a little bit more about the last game, because this is one of those builds where most Zerg players just have such a big problem with dealing with this.
Yeah.
You can see this in all the leagues that we have in WCS, and each and every Premier League. Once the Protoss player has a certain Void Ray count build up, it's a huge problem. And Infestors, they are still being built, but they're not as common anymore as they were in Wings of Liberty. And this composition with Corruptor Infestor really did the trick for RorO.
It was really good for him, of course, and hitting those Fungals, it was really a big surprise. I mean, the thing is, he showed the Infestors when he killed the 4th base, when he forced to cancel on that, and then still, Parting did not have his units split. He just didn't seem to be ready to deal with that. It was really close. Those Corruptors came through at the last second, and before that, of course, the Colossi were dealing with the Infested Terrans decently.
It's just like Void Rays these days are really amazing, but you can't get complacent with them. It's not a click unit. You still have to make sure that you split if you're up against Infestors. You can't just clump everything up into a death ball and hope that you survive against area effect spells.
He also used the Corruption ability really, really well in all of those fights, corrupting every single unit in sight, so that you do a little bit of extra damage. You know, every unit that attacks, whether it's the Infested Terrans attacking, Corruptors attacking, you know, Queens attacking even.
Definitely true. 3rd base now coming up for RorO, once again heading into this 3rd on a map like Whirlwind. And as you can see, we have at the front of Parting space so far no attack upgrade. The Overlord just hovering above the Forge and trying to find out what's going on here.
Yeah, and Parting just going to go in for a secondary scout here, wants to see if the 3rd base has been taken, which he expects. Yeah. And going to pop by the... or does not actually go into the Watchtower.
No, he sees the probe. That's all that he wanted to see, RorO that is, but Parting, of course, he's trying to check for the 3rd base. That will give him already a fair amount of information. Still no attack upgrade for him, wants to see if there's a 3rd first, and heads now into the Stargate immediately upon seeing a 3rd base.
Yep. And probably just going to see that Phoenix style that we saw in game number 1. This is the opener here.
I really have to say that I enjoy the series quite a bit. RorO is just showing us that he's such a great player, and that makes Innovation's 3-0 victory against RorO all the more impressive.
Yeah, that's why I love this placement match that we have here, because yeah, these players didn't make it all the way, but at the same time they're still fighting hard here for these 2 spots, and you get to see them like prove their other matchups and play against other top level players, and it's like, yeah, we didn't get to see Parting versus RorO. I wonder what that would be like, and then we get to see that, so...
Must have been so frustrating for RorO to lose against Innovation without taking a single map. That is always the worst feeling, when you reach the round of 8 or the round of 4, and then you lose without taking a map against your opponent. So right now, he's really showing why he's one of the best Zergs in the entire world. And he is the champion of the last season, so that's the reason why. This guy is just so good, and his decision making is excellent so far. His aggressive style with all those Zerglings, I mean, is Zergling player this heavy? It reminds me very much of Life.
Yeah, very true, very similar styles. A lot of people starting to figure this out very well in Heartless Swarm. We have a lair now starting up. The Roachborn well-timed here. And Parting is going into, of course, the gateways after this with +1. So he's not just going to sit back and let that base go up.
We had a very, very early Roachborn in this game for RorO. He already completed it at 7:20 when you would usually start your Roachborn against a Protoss player with a Forge first play. Now we go into speed for the Lings after we started the hatch tech, so really important here. And as highlighted by Legend, the Overlord does not see the robotics.
And also, he did not start extra Overlords early, so he got supply log, but starts 5 Spore Crawlers, so I guess as a result of that, he will have, and 2 Extractors, so he just loses 7 supply and will be able to make a few more drones as a result. Of course, the 5 Spores he makes are 5 drones lost.
And this is also something that we see a lot more often, and I personally like it. As soon as a Zerg player identifies, okay, I'm up against Stargate, we have double spores in the mineral line. That's a new trend. Usually most Zerg players were just committing to 1 spore crawler because they didn't want to overcommit. They always were a little bit afraid of investing too many minerals into the defense. But these days we have usually double spore crawler to make sure that you defend the gas drones and also the rest of the mineral drones. Really important so that you don't lose too many.
Yeah. It's crucial, and the thing is, the Spore is always useful later against DTs, and sometimes in the late game, big pushes with Stargate.
Bit of a new composition here for RorO. This time he's heading into the Hydra Den and going for very roach-heavy, attack and upgrade-heavy style. So this looks like he really wants to move out and wants to hit Parting hard. Completely different style from what he has shown us so far in the past few games.
I think he expects that there's going to be a third base right here where Zerglings go, but it's actually Parting takes the one to the right side. So an attack with Hydras may actually be cancelled here once he sees that the base is on this side. It's so much harder to actually pull it off.
Well, at this point he's just relying on the Lings once again, but the Hydra Den as a rule is all something that he can really successfully use later on just as a precaution to switch his tech up. So far he didn't get any. He also doesn't get the upgrades. Neither does he get speed, nor does he get the range upgrade.
Yeah. And, you know, right now, it's hard to say. I mean, I like the switch to Spire, but I think it's just going to be for Corruptors.
Well, usually, yeah, the Korean Zergs do really like to have that anyways, but usually you would rather go into the high effect. But here we have him poking a little bit. He needs to be really careful against the force field.
Yeah, he forces the force field here, though, and then a great force field there by Parting. If he had missed that one, the Lynx would be in his main base by now.
And the force fields are working in favor of RorO suddenly. They are really delaying Parting's defense.
Oh, and these Zealots are trapped here. But he could target the Forge down. He's going for it.
He's
Nicely
taking
done.
the Forge, no upgrades anymore for Parting. He's moving in again. 60 additional Zerglings are currently being built. He really wants to go all out on this. Taking down the core, no more sentries.
Yep, that Photon Overcharge not scary for RorO. He just walks right through it. Blink is nearly done though. 3 more gates and another Immortal coming up. So Parting could, you know, he could be aggressive here. I feel he's just going to transition into that Thermal Lance. There it is.
With all the gas that RorO has, he will transition into Mutalisk. This is not going to be Corruptus. Yeah. He will hit hard with those Mutalisks.
Yeah, he really cut his Roach production out here, just going to Lings, spending only resources and minerals. And oh no, there was a gap!
Yeah, but 4 force fields, 5 force fields have been sacrificed for this. He's going into Corruptus. There are the Mutalisks, okay. I was really weirded out for a second. I was like, what, Corruptus, really?
Yeah,
with all those resources?
I think he's going to go in for another wave now that the force field's been baited. He's hoping here, he's hoping hard, and gets through. He's going to be able to target several of these units down.
12 Mutalisks are being built, and he still has gas available, going to +1 attack upgrade. We have him now blindsiding his opponent, or will he? The Phoenixes are still there, and they should be able to at least spot the Spire, and they see the Mutalisk. No, they didn't.
Well, they see the Spire, and the Spire is jiggling.
And they're running right into the Mutalisk. And now, of course, Parting is aware of what's going on. 6 additional Mutalisks are being built, but the Zerg player is already rallying his forces to the top right.
Parting does not have a ton of anti-air right now, though. He lost his Phoenixes. He only has 10 Stalkers, Warps, and 3 more, but 13 is kind of the unlucky number against this many Mutalisks.
Let's not forget, there's no Fleet Beacon in this game, so he will really have a problem dealing with the Mutalisks with only Phoenixes, but with all the Stalkers and the Blink upgrade, he at least for now can defend his base.
Yeah, RorO getting a little bit overzealous there. He saw only the 6 Stalkers. Got, you know, he felt the blood there.
Sneaky ninja expand for RorO at the bottom of the map.
I like it. because he's going to keep Parting's attention with these mutas, and he's just going to take gas down there only, probably.
Yeah, it's a 5th base for him, and with this, it can do a lot. If you get a better economy and you can just keep producing Mutalisk and pressure your opponent, this is so good. And we've seen already in game number 2 how good RorO is with the Mutalisk and Corruptor composition.
Nice block there on that Observer in this case. And here comes the attack again at the natural. I don't think he can make it work. I mean, he's going to try. He will get the Mothership Core.
Mothership Core is down, and then he immediately walks over, flies over to the 3rd base where he's trying to hit the probes.
Oh, he puts them all stacked up on that the extractor, or rather the assimilator.
Yeah, not the smartest idea against the Glaives. They bounce a bit too much.
Yeah, that could have been much worse, but that was definitely an opportunity there missed by RorO. If he had targeted and traded 3 more mutas, it might have killed every probe. Just being safe, though, instead. He still killed a lot. In total, in this game, he has killed, in fact, only 5. I'm actually shocked to see that number. He's only killed 5 probes.
There's the fleet beacon, by the way. The 5th base is now ready. He can start taking gas down there. And he really controls the game at this point. But Parting is trying to man up this massive army that then can walk across the map. And we've seen in the past that Parting is a player that is not afraid to put down 10, 15 cannons at his base, and that's exactly what we see here. So many cannons already being built.
Yeah, and he can just buy time and send those Phoenix over. Loses 1 immediately, though.
Yeah, we've seen in Code 8 in the 3rd round already a few games where Zerg players have done exceptional with the Corruptor and Mutalisk, and this is exactly what RorO is now trying to do. Increasing his Corruptor number so that he can deal with the Phoenixes, but he needs to take the gas, and that's exactly what he does now at the bottom of the map.
Yep. And, uh-oh, these Phoenix is a little bit isolated here. Loses 2.
Yeah. 2 immediately, but now Parting is walking across the map, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Does RorO really have what it takes to defeat this army?
Well, army supply in total is in RorO's favor only slightly, but the composition, if Parting micros correctly, is definitely in his favor.
Yeah.
He has right now 6 Phoenixes with a few more on the way, and Anion Pulse Crystal is getting closer.
It's also a big problem if RorO succeeds to force Parting into a base race, then it's going to be really difficult for the Protoss player to win this because of the bases that we have at the bottom of the map. The satellite bases are really well spread out by RorO.
He has 30 Mutalisks in total right now, 6 more Corruptors on the way.
Yeah. Parting is trying to expand again.
It's just going to be so hard for him to actually accomplish that.
Cancel in the last second. Really well done. Here comes the blink forward, though. The Phoenixes and the Stalkers trying to do damage here, and RorO is still committing to this composition, but he's starting to transition into the Hive because he wants to have the +3 attack upgrades.
And I think he will probably add some Infestors as well.
Yeah. Infestors, that's something that we saw him use earlier already, if you can get a hold of the Phoenixes.
I mean, if you just get 1 fungal on the Phoenixes, it's all over.
Exactly, that's all that you need. Suddenly, the Protoss player will lose all of them, and rebuilding them is quite the ordeal.
So, there are 27 mutas.
The Zergling flank, he decides to move back. You can really see this at the minimap. He has a set of Zerglings at the bottom, and he's trying to capture those units in the middle, but then he realized that there's a little bit too much, and he didn't want to bite off too much.
I'm just trying to keep you guys updated on the Mutalisk count and the Corruptors. 27 and 14 versus 9 Phoenixes. Just keep those numbers in mind in your head, because that amount of Mutalisk can kill a Nexus in like 2 seconds, and it can also kill a small group of Stalkers, even with Blink Micro, even with Cannons. So he has to be very careful. He has to keep his Stalkers and his Phoenixes really close together, or else the Corruptors will just fight the Phoenixes. And don't forget about that massive Zergling force in the flanks you were talking about.
Here come those cannons that I mentioned earlier. 9 in total are now being built. Parting is ready to move out. Let's not forget that we still have a sick bank for RorO, though. Here come those Infestors with a Pathogen Glance upgrade. Hive is nearly completed. And once again, the forward blink by the Stalkers. Parting trying to force a fight.
Yeah, he's trying to force that fight while he has all of his units together. He has the better composition if he can fight them all together, but so far he's not quite able to force it. Losing 2 Phoenixes there, you cannot afford to do that.
Parting is like that bully in the schoolyard that is just trying to force a battle, but he needs to be careful. RorO might have a good call on him.
Yeah, he might actually have to go parent-teacher conference if this continues.
Once again, he catches those Phoenixes, and he's losing too many. Parting, that is.
Yeah, Parting's got to be more careful with his Phoenixes. Now he's caught between a Spine Crawler place and a bunch of units on the right side.
Yeah, the Infestors are just dying here immediately. Now the cannons are starting to being dismantled by the Phoenixes, by the Mutalisks, but there are so many of them. Nice positioning here. Always the Corruptors shielding the Mutalisk against the Phoenixes.
Yeah, but this is, I feel, a decent trade for Parting. He's making 22 more mutas.
22 at once. This is what I was talking about earlier, the bank that he has. And Parting doesn't even know about all the bases that his opponent is controlling.
Yeah, he doesn't know about the base to the left. He doesn't know about the base to the far bottom. And he's going to lose his own base. He thinks he's going to base trade here by killing these expansions, but he does not know about the secret bases.
Exactly, and now RorO is moving back. Those Mutalisks will spawn in a second. Good job so far. Pulling forward by Parting, taking out 2, taking out 3.
Oh no, losing more Mutas though, or rather more Phoenixes. And Parting does not have a Mothership Core, don't forget, so he's not going to be able to recall any of this, and his Mothership Core is not going to be able to keep up with an army of this speed anyways. 28
Mutalisks in total, but we have 28 Stalkers and still a few Phoenixes alive. Parting is maxed out in supply. Can he force it into game number 5? He's certainly dishing out a lot of damage, taking down the Spire. RorO already rebuilding it, working at his bank. He has the minerals, but he doesn't have the gas.
Upgrades right now, +2 for the Zerglings, +2 weapons for the Mutas, and +1 armor versus +2 for ground for Parting. He does not have +3, and he probably never will since he lost his Forge, and he has +1 for his Phoenixes only. Well, he has another Forge now, as you can see, 4 cannons going down.
Parting with a nice move here, bringing those 2 Immortals over to take down the hatch. He could certainly do that, but the Mutalisks they should be able to save it in time.
Yeah, I think he has enough energy for Transfuses too. Yeah. Yep, Transfuse is going down.
The base at the bottom of the map is going to be scouted, and there's Parting. He saw it, and he is going to take this down. There is no way for RorO to hold it. But RorO once again at 1,000 gas that he can use for the additional Mutalisk production.
Yeah, Parting is really starting to realize what's going on in this game. He's got to start picking off these bases on the edges of the map. +3 goes down as +2 starts for Parting. And he's trying to get more Phoenixes out. He's running so low on the resources, and without a 4th base, he's going to start to literally run out of patches soon.
Exactly. RorO is trying to win the battle of nutrition here. He is trying to overpower the army, and there's the army supply. Once again, RorO was able to catch up with his opponent. Parting has a strong army on the map, but RorO even going into the +3 attack upgrade now for his air units.
Yep. 6 more cannons on the way for Parting. He is really just trying to turtle up and back at home, so if it ever comes down to a very, very direct base trade, he will have that to fall back on. He does not, however, have a Templar Archives with Storm to rely on.
Bases everywhere now for RorO. He knows how to base trade. This is the same thing that we've seen in Rings of Liberty so many times. Heart of the Swamp style this time. Yep. Sniping another Phoenix. Parting has to be more careful with those guys.
Yeah, he's going to get a few of these Mutas. No, he targets the hatchery instead.
The Muta count is just steadily increasing. We're currently looking at Mutalisk numbers of 45, and he's still building 4. He will be at 50 in a few seconds.
And he has the army advantage as far as supply goes. Composition-wise, it's all about the engagements. The Mutalisks are more mobile, but Parting's army together, all directly, is of course a much stronger one.
Parting is just killing base after base, but he didn't even kill half of the base of his opponent. He's now finally transitioning into the Templar Archive, but will he get Storm in time?
You know, I think he might just add Archons, put him next to his cannons. We saw Archons really win him that one game, but it was more of RorO's mistake.
Exactly, that's the problem that I would have with Archons. I just don't think that RorO is going to make that mistake twice.
Yeah, I mean, fool me once, maybe fool me twice in this case. That's what Parting's hoping for.
Those Mutalisk numbers are going to be insane. I mean, the guy is now above 50. He's already looking at 54
He's going to 54
in just a few seconds. He's even building more. +3 is going to be completed. This army is crazy.
It's the Muta Ball of Death.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, the units here, there's so many of them. He has at 53 now.
12 Corruptors for support.
Exactly.
And there's only 13 Phoenixes. Only 13. It's a very small number.
When is the point when RorO actually says, you know what, I can take it down? And those are the cannons that we mentioned earlier. I mean, look at this. The cannon numbers are crazy. In total, we currently have
33 cannons.
Yep, 33 cannons on the map.
This is pretty nuts. I mean, it looks like he has no intention of taking another expansion. He just wants to end it.
Here we go, at least taking down one of those Colossi, basically one-shotting it.
Yeah. And he's got to make sure he pulls his Phoenixes away. He can't fight where his Stalkers aren't shooting. He's going to get this hatchery.
And there's Storm. He's going into Storm. No Archons this time. He wants to have Storm. Good decision, but he needs to have those units out. He has the bank to build them, which is the most important part.
Exactly. He has all that gas. He's actually making this hatchery now, or this Nexus. I never thought he would have taken it. He's going to have to cancel this time. Remember, every Corruptor lost is important, because if he loses all those Corruptors, then Parting can just run circles around the Mutas forever.
But a lot of those Phoenixes are going down, but you're right, RorO should think about building a few additional Corruptors at this point.
He has no burrow at all, so he's not going to be able to save this.
Yeah. The base goes down, and so far we don't have a lot of mining going on for RorO. Actually, he doesn't have any mining anymore.
Yep. Down to 15 Harvesters, 2 hatcheries being made right now. He's desperate to rely on them. One is at the natural, even.
Wolf, I actually think that he can fight the Stalkers now. There are not a lot of Phoenixes left.
Only 24 Stalkers versus nearly 50 mutas, 49 at this point. He needs the Templar to be with his army. He's got to connect those two armies together somehow.
He has Storm now. The upgrade is done. Can he get the Storms against the Mutalisks? If he can force a fight with Storms, he will be able to win this game. A 50 supply lead already for Parting. RorO has to do something, and he has to do it now.
Yeah. Most of the army supply lead Parting has is in workers. Don't forget.
Here we go. He's moving in. The Mutalisks, they are going to town. They're taking down 1 Colossus, 2 Colossi, moving in against the rest of the army. Here come the Phoenixes trying to assist.
The Templar are way too far away. They're not with the army. They're walking across slowly right now. Good micro, though, on those Phoenixes. Corruption on every single Stalker.
This is a Protoss graveyard. One Stalk after another. They're going down. The Zerglings are moving in. Here comes the Blink. And we have now a supply lead. It's still for Parting, but it is shrinking.
It is shrinking rapidly here. He falls back to the Templar, but why not bring the Templar to his army? Yes, it takes a while to walk them across, but he needs to somehow connect these two armies together.
He needs another base. He does not have a base anymore that mines. And RorO just rebuilt a hatch to the top left and also at the bottom of the map. RorO is mining minerals and gas again.
Yep, he's going to have to deal with this. He cannot sit back anymore. He cannot sit idly by. He picks off another Corruptor. Phoenix is chaser. He wants to bait him into the storms.
He has to play he has to go on all-out Pikachu right now. He needs to get those lightning
He needs to get a Thunderstone,
right.
Man, and evolve into Raichu at this point.
Not only a Thunderstorm, man. He needs like 10 Raichus. He needs a lot more.
He's got to call on Jolteon too, man. Look at this long-distance mining from Parting. He knows that he has the gas for Templar if he can actually just mine a few more minerals to afford those.
Greencast is already shouting Stormer. And they should. This is what keeps him in the game. The Archons and the Storms. Does he get them? Mining at the bottom of the map, not an option anymore, but still to the top left.
I don't know what RorO is doing with his army. He's got to start doing something with his mobility. He's just camping at home.
Waiting.
That's not...
He's waiting. He wants to fight, but he wants to get as many units out there as he can before he actually commits to a fight. He knows that there are so many cannons in all 3 bases of Parting that he cannot really confidently attack into them. Once again, a Phoenix down, but also...
Yeah, the Phoenixes are not as significant anymore as the Templar.
Yeah.
He still wants to keep them alive, of course, but, you know, for him to damage these units even a little bit makes the storm so much more deadly.
I actually think that Parting might have done it. The composition that he has is now so much better than RorO's, and Parting is long-distance mining. RorO knows that there is no 4th base for the Protoss, but actually at this point I think Parting can just take one.
Yeah, because RorO's not doing anything, you know? I mean, he's trying to accomplish something. He's got a decent split on the Archons, but here come the Phoenixes from the side.
Here comes the magic boxing that we were talking about earlier. 1 Archon down, the 2nd, the 3rd, and he's getting another one. All of them are gone, and he takes down the High Templars.
He takes the Templar down. That could be it. He gets the last Storms. Here they go. The Storms alone are not going to cut it. He needs the Phoenixes too.
Both of them are now down to 50 supply, and once again, RorO is just moving in with everything that he has. Parting still has a couple of Phoenixes, but there's only 1 Corruptor left.
4 Phoenixes, 12 Mutas, 1 Corruptor. That and 1 High Templar. He makes 2 more Archons, though. This is such a close game. I don't think I've ever actually casted a closer game than this.
This is insanity.
Transfusing his Corruptor. Could transfuse one of those Mutas as well. Getting 4 more Corruptors out because he knows that he just has to deal with the Phoenixes. That's all that's really the
problem. I'm so excited.
problem.
If I was pregnant, I would give birth right now. This is insane. I think my water just broke. This is crazy. He's getting the Corruptors right now that he needs, and then finally he can have those Phoenix at bay, but still.
He can start a Nexus now, too. He has 436 minerals. He starts the Nexus.
Oh, wow. He
but
actually
spotted
takes that chance. The Zerglings.
The Archons, though. So smart for him to leave those Archons there. Mutas or Zerlings would not want to fight against us. He loses a lot of Lings.
Jeez, that game, man. You gotta be kidding me. This is crazy.
RorO is so trapped, though, and he's not going to have 300 minerals for a really long time. That 1 mineral patch only has 11 minerals, or no, 260 left. 11 harvesters on it, though.
I don't think that he's going for another Hatch Wolf. Look at this. He's building the Mutalisks right now. He doesn't want another base. He knows that he will have a hard time catching up. He wants to end this.
It's just, I don't know if he'll be able to kill those cannons if he runs out of, if he loses all of his harvesters here, or if Parting just holds his Nexus for a little bit longer.
You know, call me crazy, but you know what I would have loved? A single Infestor.
Yeah. I mean, it's risky, but...
It's very risky. If there's a High Templar nearby, 1 feedback and it's gone. But on the other hand, if you kill those few Phoenixes, then suddenly you're only up against Archons, and with good magic boxing, you might be able to pull that off. Rather than having 2 additional Mutalisks. I don't know, it's hard to tell.
It's hard to say. Parting is checking right now with the probe to see if there are any hidden bases. Oh, here we go. This could decide everything. A great split. There's a storm.
And he's going for those Archons. Corruption! 1, 2! He's getting the third one! The Corruptors up against the Phoenixes! And Supply Elite still 4 Parting, but can he pull it off?
He now has to pull back, get his probes out of here.
Parting has only 14 army supply against 26. The Phoenix are being chased away. The Mutalisks are going to town. They are taking down probe after probe. What a game!
But here come the Stalkers. He needs to bring the Phoenixes back. He's blink microing here. He needs to blink back again.
Oh my god. Oh, this is so sexy.
The Phoenix is coming through. He's losing too much though. Those Mutas can pick up the Stalker. He blinks it again.
Oh my god,
Corruption
I cannot believe this! There's the Corruption! Corruption is changing everything!
Oh my god, Parting now down to one Stalker and 29 probes, but he still has the cannons to fall back to for now.
Zerglings! He's getting 8 Zerglings! 8 Zerglings, that's all that he needs!
Oh, and all these probes are forfeit here if he doesn't pull them away. Here come those Zerglings that you were talking about, Kaldor. I think Parting may just lose this game right now.
There are 2, and here comes the Corruption. The Mutalisks are flying away. The Zerglings are on the move, though.
He corrupts the probes because he knows he's going to have to fight the Zerglings with his probes. Here they come.
He's moving in. This is it. They blink away to safety. The Mutalisks are running in. The probes are fighting the
Stalkers
Zerglings.
are dead, and that is it. That's it. Parting's out of probes.
Oh my god. RorO takes the game. He takes the series. I cannot believe this. GG.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You gotta be kidding me. What a game.
Look at him shake in the booth. That was an insane game.
Unbelievable. Oh, wow. That was just amazing.
By both players, the decision-making, the patience. RorO comes out on top, makes those Zerglings at the end, micros his Mutalisks against the Archons. His micro in that game was perfect against the Archons.
Oh my god, what a fight. That game was insane. I mean, everything. Without the Corruptors for Corruption, he would have lost that.
Without the perfect magic boxes on those 3 Archons, and without those links he made at the end, and then the micro against the Stalkers targeting down the weakened ones, using the Corruption on the last 3 Stalkers.
This is one of those games where you hammer that F2 button because you think, maybe I forgot a Zergling somewhere on the map. Maybe at the bottom right when I was looking for the probe in the early game, I still have a Zergling left. I cannot believe this just happened. What a match.
What an insane game, and RorO is the one who wins the spot.
Yeah. He takes the spot. He takes the best of 5 series with a 3-1 over Parting. Parting devastated after this loss.
Yeah, I've got a feel for him. Really tough series, losing the first map to, kind of a builder situation where he didn't have the units for his links. Game number 2, takes it, but then he loses the next games back-to-back.
That split in the last fight against those 3 Archons and the Corruption moving in, dodging those storms at the same time, and then when he was in a good position, actually realizing, well, there's one storm, I have to eat that. I can't. He selected the units. You could see that, and he was like, do I move back here? And he's like, no, I have to take down this Archon.
I have to take that storm, and I've got to keep those Mutas there, or else the Archon gets one more shot on me.
Crazy.
That was insane.
Guys, this was only the first best of 5 today. We are having another match for you. We have Bomber up against Lucira, aka Kango. This is what's going to happen after a 5-minute break. So we have to actually take a breath. Probably the same is true for you. Get a drink, and in 5 minutes we will be back with another best of 5 here at Kodas at the WCS placement matches. See you in a few.